Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to see you again. Thank you for coming. I'm here with your Tarotscopes for the month of July. You should apply these to your sun, moon, and rising, or any other placement in your chart that you are paying close attention to right about now. If you have not already, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. Make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you get these every month or every other week or whenever I put out other things, but especially for these monthly Tarotscopes. Like this video, comment on it. If you got something to say, share it far and wide with anyone you think may be of benefit. I have been on more than a little bit of a break lately. You know how I ask you every time I see you how you're feeling. How is your head? How is your heart? And how is your body? How are these things? Well, I've been on a little bit of a break, more than a little bit of a break, a lot of a break, because I realize what is all of that for if I'm also not making the time to ask myself those questions and in turn make the time and space to try to give to myself whatever it is that I need in response to those questions, or make the effort to find it if I don't already possess it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making a lot of time for rest and quiet, regeneration, making time and space for the grief that I've been experiencing in my personal life, and just letting that unfold out of my body so that it doesn't store in my body. Now, what's really important: how are you feeling? How is your mind? How is your heart, your beautiful, perfect heart? How is your body feeling? I hope that you are well. I hope that you are held. And I hope that if you are not those things, that together, one way or another, we can find a way to get you to that place. Hey, 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 I am here with the July Tarotscope for Gemini. You can apply this to your sun, moon, rising, or any other placement in your chart you are paying close attention to at this time. Gemini, for the month of July 2021. This again is for your sun, moon, rising, or any other placement you are paying attention to. We have a Page of Pentacles reversed, a King of Cups reversed, and the Tower. So this tells us a handful of, I don't know, obvious to me things to the positive end. The Tower gets a difficult, challenging, or bad rep because of what it can and often will shake up in your life. But we know in modern divination, or any divination, I'm just being silly when I say modern divination, we know in all seriousness that the degree to which uncomfortability sticks around can sometimes be worked with. So I want to say that first and foremost. I also, I'm going to just state the obvious and say that whenever the Tower comes, This is one that's kind of like, damn it. But it's never not from a micro to a macro level, never not shaking out shit that is not for us. Does that mean that it doesn't come at the cost of some bullshit, right? Sometimes, yes. Oftentimes, yes. And we can see that as the case, or I'm hearing that in real time for you. There seems to be a thematic statement in everything I'm hearing in one-on-one messages, or excuse me, one-on-one readings and messages that I'm getting as I do these polls for you here, that there is yet another shift coming in the fall. Does this mean that it is global mayhem that we've experienced last year? No. At least that's not what I'm hearing anyway. But we are not done growing. We are not done evolving. And for some folks, myself included, this means that there is yet another batch of uncomfortability that will begin to thread its way into our day-to-day, our situations, our lives, our relationships. We can see that in the month of July, there is there are feelings. There's going to be lots of feelings for you, sweet Gemini. We are looking at, due to again, I'll stress this, what feels very much like the preparation for towards the end of this year, what feels very much in prep for that, is again this rattling and displacement of shit that might at this time feel relevant. It might at this time feel important and like you're on the right track with specific shakeup or displacement, right? But we can almost assure you that for the next stage of your development, this is not the case. We encourage you to trust and have faith in the broadest view of your unfolding, is what they are saying. As my pitbull snores contentedly. That said, right, so the Tower, it doesn't mean that your whole life is going to be, flipped over, as I would want to flip this table, pulling the Tower. But it does mean that shit could be kind of uncomfortable for you this month. And it's not right, but it's okay. I love you, Whitney. So what to do, right? Because the rest of this says that, so we have the Tower, and then we have the King of Cups and the reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, to me, as a result of the Tower, right? We can see this coming through a couple of ways. We're looking at, some uncomfortability, some shaking up of shit that's really not meant for you long-term, broad scope, big picture. We can also see that this is manifesting for some of you as kind of, like the train that's just been going full speed and kind of moving along. But once it catches up, everything sort of slams into one another. And I'm also seeing pictures of how that relates to you and your reading for the month of July, is that residual grief, residual pain and disappointment and sort of unsettling displacement looks to be catching up to some of you this month in July. And that's what I mean by the train cars sort of right? They all catch up and it all gets smushed and accordioned in, for lack of a better term. And as a result of that, we are looking at uneven senses of emotion and kind of, not an inability to feel peaceful or focus, but more so an unwillingness to I'm asking focus on what? an unwillingness to focus and ground into the day-to-day routines that really do bring you senses of stability, peace, an anchoring sense. And as I listen in real time to this message, I can hear very clearly that if there is any way that you can, if there is any way that you can, if there's any way that you can just show up for the aspects of your life that feel grounded, that really anchor you into familiarity. And I'm like, want to pause here and say, right? And so what is this? This means like, don't throw the way that you eat that nourishes you out the window. I was going to say, don't throw your diet out the window, but like, fuck a diet, right? When I say diet, I mean the method, the way that you eat that makes you feel grounded and safe and okay, right? That's what I mean. Don't abandon that, right? So if you know that like eating, I don't know, I'm going to make this up because I want to be very like pro-individual eating style. Okay, perfect example. Like if you know that broccoli makes you feel like shit, right? But like there is this really comforting, and for some of us, broccoli does in fact make us feel like shit. But right, so if in coping with these uneven senses of emotion, you reach out to this one spot near you that has like this banging broccoli casserole. I don't know, it's like extra cheesy and super gooey and broccoli, and there's like panko crust on top, right? So like check, right? Like, so broccoli makes you feel like shit. Cheese and dairy makes you feel like shit, and gluten, and I don't know, I'm just making all this up, right? All things of which, so broccoli makes my stomach feel like shit. I promise this is not about food, but what it is about is like abandoning things that like, you know, really anchor you to a degree of stability. So right, broccoli makes me feel like shit, honestly, right? Dairy makes me very stuffy and my allergies go crazy. And I don't know, let's say panko breadcrumbs only kind of contribute to making my belly feel like shit. But I'm like abandoning what I know to be helpful. I'm not gonna say good. I'm abandoning, when I do that, I go wild on this broccoli casserole. I'm abandoning what I know to be helpful for me to be anchored into what keeps me steady. So how do we know the difference between like, well, you know, this is what's being pulled out of my life, you know, this method of eating, right? This way that I was eating, it too is being pulled out of my life. And so of course I'm going to go to broccoli casserole because I'm being shown another way. I'm clearly being directed towards the displacement of my eating habits. No. Right? That's not how that's going to manifest here for you this month. And they tell me very loudly that you will in fact be able to feel in your bones that difference. How this would manifest, right? And will give you feelings is, let's go back to the food thing. Why? Because food's a big deal for me. How that would manifest for you this month, sweet Gemini, is that, so you would know that it would be really out of pocket for you to continue to like go on this one method routine of eating. If every time, like if you're like, oh, this feels like right for me and anchors and it feels like the right thing for me to do. Remember in the beginning of this reading, I was like, you may feel like this is for you in the moment and you're on the right track. But bigger picture, it is not. And so let's say you've been eating this, here's another food example, because I don't know, it's just what they're showing me. Be quiet. Let's say you've been eating, you know, I don't know, oat milk, let's say you've been eating oat milk for, you know, the past year or 2 years or whatever, but like, oh, it's not, and it's like good. Everybody thinks it's good for you, and you think it's grounding and familiar and like part of your goal. But every time you drink it, now it's like now it makes you feel like shit. But like, it couldn't be this that's being taken away from my life, like, you know, because it's everybody, you know, because on paper this thing is very healthy for me. Anyway, hold on, pause. You might, I don't know, you could cut all that. Anyway, we can go back. Okay, so that's what I meant. You can cut all the shit about the oat milk. It's whatever. Anywho, so there is, you know, here presented within this Page of Pentacles reversed, there is this statement of being not so unable, but more unwilling to continue to be steady in the behaviors, practices, habits, whatever you want to call it, that really do anchor you and make you feel steady. And that if you are unwilling to ground into that, know that your discomfort, your uneven sense of emotions is really only going to be exacerbated. There is almost a promise, which is like a very strong word, but there's almost this promise that this too shall pass, of course, right? But that which is being really moved around in your life, and that which perhaps you've become quite attached to in its concept, if nothing else, is really in service for, again, the broader scope, the bigger picture. So within this month, let's just recap. Page of Pentacles reversed, the Tower, and the King of Cups reversed. Within this month, expect for, you know, a bit of a shakeup and some uncomfortability, and having some feelings about that, you know, belligerence and you know, sort of like a grasping onto, you know, a routine of sorts. And as such, really becoming unwilling or finding yourself unwilling to, you know, stick with a routine that is still in place. Don't throw it all out. Don't throw it all out just because some of it is not working for you any longer. Again, this is for sweet Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of July. I hope that this message serves you to the highest capacity that you need it for. Again, you can apply this message to your Sun, Moon, Rising, or any other position in your chart that you are paying close attention to. And last but not least, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do. Turn on your notifications so that you get these monthly Tarotscopes and any other video that I might put out, making magic or discussing cool things with you. Like this video, comment on it, and share it far and wide wherever you think it may be of benefit. Merry meet, merry part, merry, may we meet again.